A father and daughter entered a remote U.S. wilderness for a routine hike, experienced, prepared, and confident. They never came back. No footprints. No campsites. No signs of struggle. Months later, when authorities had given up, something returned that proved they weren't simply lost, and forced a case back open. Before we begin, make sure you like this video, share it with someone who loves true crime, and subscribe to the channel for more real stories like this. Stories that don't always come with justice, but deserve to be remembered. Every like and subscription helps bring attention to cases that were quietly abandoned, cases where the truth was buried instead of solved. Tonight's story is one of those cases. It begins with a routine trip into a place thousands of Americans visit every year, a place marketed as peaceful, scenic, and safe. Two people entered with experience, preparation, and trust in the land beneath their feet. They never came back. For months, investigators believed the forest had simply taken them. No witnesses. No signs of struggle. No evidence of a crime. Just silence. But then, something returned. Not a body. Not a confession. But proof that someone, somewhere, knew exactly what had happened. Stay with me until the very end, because this case doesn't just ask how two people disappeared, it asks how someone managed to hide the truth for so long. On the morning of May 14, 2016, Evan Holloway woke before his alarm. At 38, Evan lived a quiet life in Boise, Idaho, working as a structural surveyor for commercial construction projects. He wasn't wealthy, wasn't reckless, and wasn't the kind of man who took unnecessary risks. If anything, people described him as overly careful, the kind of person who double-checked locks, reviewed weather forecasts obsessively, and printed backup maps even when GPS existed. That morning mattered to him. His daughter, Maribel Holloway, 19 years old, stood on the edge of adulthood. She'd been accepted to an out-of-state college and would be leaving Idaho at the end of summer. This trip was Evan's idea, one final tradition before life changed. They had done this before. The Sawtooth National Recreation Area wasn't foreign territory to Evan. He'd hiked its lesser-known trails for years, avoiding the tourist-heavy routes in favor of quiet spurs that branched away from the main paths. Maribel trusted him completely. They packed light but smart. Extra water. Emergency radio. First aid kit. Printed trail maps marked in pen. Evan left a handwritten note for his sister on the kitchen counter. Iron Creek Spur. 2 nights. Back Sunday. Their dog, Luna, an Australian shepherd with sharp eyes and boundless energy, paced excitedly as they loaded the truck. At 9:12 a.m., a neighbor's doorbell camera captured Evan locking his front door and laughing as Maribel struggled to lift her pack. That was the last confirmed image of them alive. Park entry cameras recorded Evan's truck entering the Sawtooth region shortly after noon. The footage was mundane. No urgency. No sign of distress. Just a silver pickup slowing at the gate, then disappearing into the trees. They parked at the Iron Creek Spur trailhead, a lesser-used access point favored by experienced hikers. The area wasn't dangerous, but it wasn't forgiving either. Rocky terrain, elevation shifts, and patches of dense forest made navigation difficult if someone left the marked route. Rangers later confirmed Evan signed the trail log. 2 adults. 1 dog. Estimated return. Sunday. Sunday came and went. By Monday morning, Evan's sister called park authorities. By Monday afternoon, search teams were mobilized. The truck was still there. Locked. Undamaged. Exactly where Evan had parked it. Inside the cab, investigators found nothing alarming. No signs of struggle, no blood, no indication they had returned at any point. Everything they'd need for 2 days in the wilderness was gone. Search dogs were brought in within hours. Luna's scent trail held for less than half a mile. Then it vanished. Rocky terrain erased footprints. Wind scattered any trace of movement. Dense pine needles swallowed sound and scent alike. Rangers expanded the search outward, expecting to find something: a campsite, discarded food, even a torn strap. They found nothing. No ashes. No crushed grass. No sleeping area. It was as if Evan and Maribel never stopped to rest. For nearly 2 weeks, the Sawtooth region became a grid of organized desperation. Helicopters scanned ridgelines. Volunteers searched ravines. Divers checked nearby water sources. Weather reports ruled out storms. Wildlife specialists found no evidence of animal attacks. No blood. No torn clothing. Phones offered no help. There was no signal in that area, but there was also no evidence the devices ever moved beyond the trail. By day 10, the tone shifted. Search briefings quietly replaced words like rescue with recovery. By day 14, the operation scaled back. And then, like so many cases before it, the investigation was suspended. Life moved forward, except for the people left behind. Evan's sister checked the hotline weekly. Maribel's friends posted photos, hoping someone would recognize her. Flyers yellowed on bulletin boards. Then winter came. Snow buried trails. Time buried urgency. Until January 2, 2017. At 6:41 a.m., a motel owner in Stanley, Idaho, heard scratching at his back entrance. Standing there was Luna. She was skeletal. Mud-covered. One eye swollen. A healed scar ran across her ribcage. She collapsed inside moments later. The veterinarian's report stunned investigators. Luna had not survived on wildlife. Her stomach contained commercial dog food, dry kibble sold at feed stores and roadside stations. Someone had been feeding her. And someone had retied her collar. The case was reopened within hours. Investigators focused on Luna as the only living link to the disappearance. Handlers attempted to track her back into the wilderness. At first, she panicked, circling, whining, refusing to lead. Then, miles west of the original trail, her behavior changed. She moved with purpose. Luna led them to an abandoned Forest Service equipment shed, barely visible beneath brush. A new padlock hung from a rusted door. Inside, food cans, a folded sleeping bag, burned paper scraps, a pink paracord bracelet. Maribel's. Hidden beneath loose boards was a hand-drawn map. It showed an unofficial cut trail, one missing from modern maps. The trail led to a defunct mining pit, deep in unstable terrain. Luna began digging immediately. They found torn backpack straps, a smashed camera, clothing cut deliberately. Then the grave. 2 bodies. Evan and Maribel Holloway. Forensics confirmed blunt force trauma. A crowbar was recovered nearby. Cleaned. Whoever did this knew how to hide. Investigators identified Caleb Wynn, a seasonal contractor who worked nearby in 2016. He lived off-grid, used old service roads, had access to abandoned structures. 2 weeks after Luna returned, he vanished. His truck was found abandoned in Nevada. No trace since. The murders remain unsolved. No arrest. No trial. No confession. Only a dog that came back, and a truth that arrived too late. Before we end, make sure you like this video, share it with someone who follows true crime, and subscribe to the channel for more long-form investigations like this. Every interaction helps keep these stories alive, especially the ones that never got justice. Evan and Maribel Holloway trusted the land. They trusted preparation. They trusted that being careful was enough. It wasn't. Someone knew those trails better. Someone understood how silence works. And someone walked away without ever being held accountable. Luna returned because whatever held her was finally gone. And somewhere out there, the person responsible still exists, unseen, unnamed, and unpunished. If you believe stories like this deserve to be told, support the channel. New cases, new twists, real stories. And remember, not everyone who disappears is lost. Some are hidden. See you in the next one.